Stradic 8000 FJ model. This is the latest Stradic from what I've been reading, and I bought it from Bass Pro Shops for $240. I know you could have gotten it a little cheaper at other places, but I wanted to feel and touch the reel before I placed an order for an expensive reel that didn't have to come out from the country, from another country. So I went to Bass Pro and told the guys, hey, can you guys get one in? So I ordered the 5,000, and that one came in. It was a little small, so I told the guy to order the 6,000 and the 8,000 to come in, and so I can take a look at them. So the 6,000, the 8,000 come in, and logically you'd think the 6,000 would be a little smaller than the 8,000. Well, when it got there, I was looking at both of them. I actually looked at the 6,000 first, and I said, well, this is perfect size, right? So I pulled it out of the box, looked at it. It was good. And then I said, well, since the 8,000 is already here, let me take a look at the 8,000. So the guy pulls the 8,000 out of this box, and I look at it and I say, wait, these are basically the same size. So what's the difference? We take a look at everything and weight and size and everything, and it turns out the 8,000 is actually a little lighter. I think it was 0.3 ounces or something like that, lighter than the 6,000. So the major difference between 6,000 and the 8,000, from what I saw in the 10 minutes of looking at them on the counter, was that the 8,000 just held a lot more line, and that's really all I really saw. The handle, the frame, everything looks almost identical. I think the 8,000 is just a little more beefed up. So I decided to pick up the 8,000 to replace my Daiwa Windcast Z for a little bit and see how the Shimanos were doing. So to give you guys an idea of what the Stradic comes with, it's got all of these cool logos on it. Paladin system, I know. This is my first time buying a really good, high-quality Shimano reel, and my buddy's always telling me about the Paladin gears and how it's got all these cool bearings inside that are all sealed. So they also mentioned that on the features. It's got 5 shielded stainless steel ball bearings and 1 stainless steel roller bearing. Roller bearing is always cool, and the only time you really need a roller bearing is for high stress or high tension applications. And what that means for us in the fishing world is big fish. Okay, so that's really what that means. A lot of these other things I'll talk about in a little bit, and a lot of these other things you really don't need to know about. One thing is that I saw in a lot of the other YouTube reviews is people really like this X-ship aluminum gear. To me, design the gears properly and they should be okay from the get-go, or give it a big enough gear and you should be okay. Weight on this is not actually that heavy. It's about a decent size medium frame. Well, actually, one would say medium frame. This is more on a large scale type of reels right here. But upon an initial look at it, when I first got it at the Bass Pro Shops counter, was my major thing was this knob. Like, this thing is the first thing you notice when you pick up this reel. This knob is huge, okay? It's huge compared to all my other reels I've had. This thing is ginormous. And then after that, this arm right here. Okay, so after that, after you notice the knob, you're gonna notice this arm. And this arm just straight out means business, and it's got the X-Ship logo right on it. Okay, so when you pick up this reel, you know there's something about it that just says, I want you to pull in big fish. I'm here for big fish. Don't give me a crappie, give me a striper. Don't give me a bass, give me a swordfish almost type of feel, okay? And everything seems to be well designed. No special features that I can see on this reel. It looks like a normal reel, but at the same time, I guess all of its charm and all of its best characteristics are on the inside of the reel. Once again, like I was saying, it's got the nice bearings, the roller bearing, and that's going to help you out a lot when you're really like, say for striped bass, if you're on a boat and the fish is trying to go down into deep waters, you just don't want it to go down there, and you're trying your best to just crank or power its way out power its weight to pull the fish back up to the boat, this is going to be a good reel for that. In terms of casting, what'll help you out here is this lip right here, and this lip is almost like a design that Shimano uses exclusively, almost. It's a really angled or slant cut on the lip, so when the line unspools or pulls out, or you can say whatever you want to call it, it'll go out a little easier. And the drag system, since we're here, I'm gonna go from front to back. Okay, so let's look at the features front to back. The drag system, it's not like a quick lock or anything, but it's not too bad from just the feel of it. But once you actually use it and you get a big fish on the line, that's when you'll really appreciate this drag. A lot of the reels that I've owned, when you just go here and set it to any setting and you turn the spool, you're gonna feel that there's almost like a slight bump and then it lets off. Slight bump, then it lets off. This one's just really smooth. There is no like up and down pressure in the drag, you can say, or the resistance in the drag. It's just smooth the whole time, no matter what setting you have it on. It's always smooth. Okay, so that's a good thing about the drag system. Drag system will definitely handle a lot of pressure. I even saw a video on YouTube where this guy was pulling in, I think it was a shark, with the same model reel I have. So I was pretty confident with that. That's why I bought this one. The drag proves itself. The spool design, nothing out of the ordinary with the spool design. It's just a very basic Shimano. Okay, holds the spool, the 8,000 holds, and this is a good thing I like about their spools now, or they've been doing it for a while. But a lot of the manufacturers don't do it. Is they have a mono and the Power Pro rating. So if you're going to mono, this is actually 12-pound mono right now. On 12-pound, I got 375 yards. And if I was going to go to a braid, I usually fish the 20-pound. And the 20-pound is not even listed. So I have definitely more than 400 yards of Power Pro. And I did fish it with mono and Power Pro. I used the Power Pro Super Silk 8 or Super 8 Silk, whatever you want to call it. And it threw perfectly. Never had a tangle, nothing like that. So that's a good thing, and that was actually expected and should function flawlessly, since Power Pro is the recommended line from this reel, and it's all over the box. So, yep, there it is on the box. Power Pro. So I didn't expect any hiccups from that. Everything is good so far. Going from there. So once you come down from that, let me take this apart so you guys can see the insides as well. And this is the only thing that I found to be a little disappointing on the Shimano. If it's a cheap reel, I wouldn't be too picky about it. But since it's a $240 reel, this piece is plastic, okay? I mean, it's not a big deal. This is the piece that makes that clicking sound for you when the drag's going. It basically rubs up against this little piece right here. And I think that just makes the clicking sound. But still, $240. Come on, Shimano, give me a metal piece. All right. So anything else while I'm down here? Nope. But there you go. You can actually take a look at that. You can see exactly what I'm seeing. There you go. And they call it the SR Reliance. Well, I don't even know what that means, because different manufacturers will have different cool names they'll throw at you. But what matters in the end is whether it works or not. Okay, so don't always believe them. That's why we're independent reviewers here, and we'll tell you everything that we can find on them, the goods, the bads, and maybe some things that are exceptionally good and some things that are just like, what the heck's going on, guys? Trying to trick people. Okay, so from there on out, you got the bail. Pretty stout spring. I think I'd actually like to see a stronger spring, just because I know that this reel can go is designed to go after big fish. Okay, so I would actually prefer a stiffer spring. Not that it really matters once it locks down, but I'd still like to see that. The other thing that I'd like to see was, I know this drag system on paper it says 20, I believe it's 29 pounds. I could be wrong. I'll check that out and I'll annotate if it's wrong. But you got a little screw here. I don't know what kind of material that screw is, but it seems a little weak for 29 pounds. And the arm here, it looks really big, but then again, it's hollow. Okay, well, not completely hollowed, but on the back end, it is a little hollowed out. So just not too much confidence in this. I don't know what type of material it is. If it's metal, it should be okay. If it's any type of other plastic, I'm not too fond of it. And the other thing I found was, when I first brought it out, I was running the Power Pro Super Silk 8, and right off the bat, I could already see that this bronze or gold trim finish, you can say, is starting to flake off already. And I've only owned this reel for, let me see, I've had it for about a month now. So Power Pro is eating away at this chrome, oh, not chrome, this bronze tint finish. And you could, I don't know if you can see it, but right here where my fingernail's at, that's where the Power Pro usually ends up lying on. And yeah, you can see it. It's turned white already. So that's not a good thing, especially from a reel of this expense, or this reel of this hype, you can say. So like I'm saying, I'm just keeping it real, telling everybody what I've seen. Everything else from that part up looks good. The clip is a little disappointing. I'd like to see a better clip on that. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Supposedly it's supposed to be very well balanced and everything. Not really. Okay, so now we're gonna get down to the handle. This is a great handle, no doubt about it. A lot of pure metal in here, but at the same time, once you do that, it throws the reel off balance. Once you're really reeling really fast, trying to pick up slack from line or anything like that. Say like right after you throw a big bait out there, really heavy, that goes out 30, 40, maybe even 50 yards, you get a lot of slack. And when the first time you reel, your fishing rod's wobbling all over the place because something with this handle is too heavy. So it's throwing the whole reel off balance, alright? So that's kind of a downside. They say it's really, really balanced reel, but not for my testing. It's just not that balanced, and I think it's because of this. Everything else looks really nice. Looks like it should be balanced pretty well. The fit and finish is near perfect. I have no complaints about that. The Stradic here, the Stradic icon or logo is actually pretty cool. I know you can see my fingerprints here, but pretty cool. It's right on the chrome plating. It's almost like a black chrome. Really, really cool. The white body, also really cool, and a lot of people instantly recognize it because a lot of people say that this the Stradic line has been around for forever, and the white is like its signature mark. So when I first got one, people instantly recognized it, and I haven't really pulled any big fish with this yet. Just all smaller fish. Not really anything that can really test out this drag. I know I've hooked up on a couple big spoonbills by snag accident, and they have pulled out about maybe 20-30 yards on its initial run, but I wouldn't consider that a good test of the drag system, since this is really designed for big fish. So that's the 8000, and fit and finish. It's actually really cool. I just want to do a little close up on this. I don't even know if you guys can tell. Kind of tell over here. It's got some purple and blue flakes, and that's one thing that I've noticed about the Shimanos. And even on the other one that even on my other review that I did on the CI4, the 2500 CI4, Stradic CI4, is their paint jobs are always like really spectacular. It's like something that when you want on like your custom car or something. They always come up with really nice paint schemes. This one's no exception. But there are some problems with the paint that I've seen, and that is right here. It's already been scratched a little. It just doesn't seem like this paint is very, very robust. It's kind of a soft paint. So if you put it on anything, it's gonna get scratched up pretty easily. So as you can see, just right here, right there, this is just me putting the rod and reel down on some rocks. I'm talking gently putting it down, and it's scratched for life. Not a big deal, not a deal breaker, but I like to see maybe some stiffer paint in the future. Just kind of my review on it. And also, this has already been scratched. This chrome lip right here, not chrome lip, the bronze lip. I've already scratched that same way. Just gently putting it down on some rocks, and picked it back up, and boom, there it is. So maybe make that a little, more rock resistant. I don't know. I don't know if they can do that, but I have a feeling they could, since it's $240. And the only other bad thing about this is the reel does not come with an extra spool, which I was a little bummed about. Okay, the Stradic does not come with an extra spool. I don't know if that's something that Shimano does, but I'd love to see an extra spool that's of the same quality, not a plastic spool. All right, I understand that this is one of the hardest hitting reels out there, but for $275, I wanted to see at least an extra spool, and I didn't get one. I was a little disappointed when I was looking through the box, and I thought, man, they didn't ship me a spool. And then I was looking around the features, and yeah, you don't get an extra spool. But for my castability, it casts pretty smooth. Casting range is acceptable. It's not going to cast as far as my other reel, that's for sure. And that's the Daiwa Windcast Z. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go check out that review too. And some of the reasons why that reel casts longer will be mentioned. Okay, but anyways, it's a really good reel. It's a good size for to be matched with any rod that's 8 to 10 feet. I wouldn't go any higher than that or any longer than that. And the monofilament line, yeah, I would not go over. I probably would not go over 20-pound tests on this one, because it just kills your cast. 30 maybe if you're only planning to cast maybe 10 yards or less. There are some situations where you can do that. But other than that, if you're gonna go higher than that, go to braid, then to mono, then mono or fluorocarbon to your lure or your rig setup, and it should do you just fine. About this is the infinite stop is always great. Infinite stop, I love the infinite stop. It has the infinite stop, and the other thing is the anti-reverse lever is placed here. I'm not a big fan of it. I would like to see anti-reverse here, like with all my reels. I would love it to see it here, but it seems like maybe this is one of those things where it's cheapest to have it placed here, but I prefer it on this side. That's just one of the things I like and don't like about my reels. The manufacturer says this is an oversized power roller. In my opinion, that's not really oversized. That's about average size from what I've seen with my other reels. And I guess the major thing about this reel is its smoothness, and I will have to give it to it. It is smooth. All right. If you're looking for a smooth reel, a mid/large frame reel, this one's gonna be hard to beat. The Shimano Stradic, oh man, it's just smooth, guys. And I've used it on a couple of occasions now, and it's still really smooth. And granted, I haven't dunked it in water or anything like that, and I don't plan to this year because it's getting cold already, and it's still just a really nice reel. But for its price, I think it's got some stiff competition for it in its price. Okay, so I think this reel is one of those reels where if you just look at its beauty, it's not going to really surprise you, or it's not going to make you go for it. When you're looking at it at the store. I think this reel is one of those, I tend to call them the ugly ducklings, where you look at it, you don't care how it looks. You want it to perform, okay? And once you catch that fish, you want this reel to do its best. And that's where you want it to excel, or that's where you want your $250 to go to work, okay? And at that moment, I think that is where this reel does you justice, or does its best on the water. Just because of the bearings that are inside. When you crank this crazy, god huge handle here, you're gonna get this reel to spin a lot easier. I mean, all those little things, all the things you can't see, is what makes this reel what this reel is. Okay, and it's so smooth because of that. But that's something you cannot see and must be felt to understand. Okay, so by just looking at this video, you're probably not gonna understand what I'm talking about. But if you go to your local fishing store who carries this, you just give it a turn, and then look at your other competition, and you'll see, or in this case, you'll feel what I mean. And just by spinning this, it's going to feel about the same, or just slightly better than the rest of the other reels. It's when you're casting out and you're reeling in, say one of these big bomber baits here, that's when you'll notice the difference. You'll notice that it takes a lot less effort to spin than the other reels, okay? And that is where the technology has been put to use, I believe. And that's my official statement on this one, is the money is used in this reel, not really in the paint or anything like that, but used in the internal components of this reel. So when you have something on the line that you are retrieving back, that's where this reel really shines. And I think that's where Shimano put most of their efforts in then redesigning or updating this reel. Hey, if you watched this far already, I'm pretty sure you like what you've just seen, so please be sure to subscribe and check out our other videos. If you have any pictures you'd like to share with us, please post them up on our Facebook page or tag us on Instagram.